Hey, Team Fuel. Sorry I missed you last week. I hope you are all doing well. I have kind of a cool activity for us to do this week. You're going to need a piece of paper and something to write with. We'll be making a list if that helps you decide what kind of paper or writing utensil you need, and pause and then come back. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is time yourself for 3 minutes. So maybe you use the timer on the microwave, or maybe you have a different timer around you, maybe on your phone or watch, or ask a parent or a guardian to help you time for 3 minutes. And I want you to just write down anything that crosses your mind in those 3 minutes. Things that maybe are affecting you, or just thoughts that you have a lot. And for a whole 3 minutes, I want you to write down every little thought that comes to your head. And when you're done with that, I want you to pause when you're done, come back. Okay. I assume you have your list. If not, go ahead and pause and then come back. Otherwise, I want you to now look at your list, and I want you to put those things in 3 different categories. So we have, you can mark either a P for past next to it, something that has maybe happened in the past. You can write an N for now, something that you're kind of going through right now, or if that thought or idea has something to do with what you're dealing with right now in the present, I want you to write an N for now. And then if it's something that hasn't happened yet, or we're not even sure if it's going to happen, I want you to put an F for future. So we have P for past, N for now, or F for future. And make that list. And you can even tally up how many P's, N's, and F's you have. Pause and then come back. Okay, so now that you have a tally, what do you have the most of? Do you have mostly N's, or things that you're dealing with right now? If you do, you're one of the rare ones. A lot of us tend to kind of like think about things that we're going through that it's something that's already happened, or that's something that hasn't happened, maybe won't happen. But just keep that in mind. If you have a lot of P's, why do you think there's a lot of thoughts you're having from the past? And you can even write down, if you want to, you can pause and write down why you think a lot of your thoughts are from the past. And do the same if yours is from the future. So maybe you have a lot of thoughts that things that you're worried might happen, things that you think might happen but haven't yet. Maybe you're hoping they will happen and they haven't yet, but they're from the future. And think about, why are those thoughts? Why are you having so many thoughts about the future? One thing that we've noticed is that if a lot of your thoughts are from the past and they make you sad, that's something to be aware of. And because a lot of times we can get stuck in past things, and they feel yucky sometimes, and we don't love them, and so for some reason our brain keeps trying to solve it. And a good thing to do is to come back into the now. Same thing with the future. If we're having a lot of thoughts about the future, or things that haven't happened, and maybe there are things we're worried about that could happen but haven't, but we're not sure, just some maybe even scary thoughts, keep in mind that's also something that we want to be aware of, because sometimes those are thoughts that cause what we call anxiety. And so we want to bring our brain back to the present. So the way that we can do that, or bring them back to the now, since we're using that word for this activity, is something we can do is it's an exercise where we do, and you can do it with me as we go, but name 5 things that you can see. So anything that's around you right now that you can see. Like I can see, and it's just because I can see behind me right now, the lamp behind me. I can see my earrings. I can see these boxes over here. I can see these words behind me. Follow your arrow. I can see the sweater I'm wearing today. So now, and you can pause and name 5 things you can see and come back. Next, we're going to name 4 things that we can touch. So we're using our senses. We're trying to bring our brain into the now, right? So 4 things I can touch. I can touch my hair. I can touch, I've got a phone near me. I can touch my keys. And I can touch my pen. Go ahead and you try that activity and come back. Then we're going to do 3 things we can hear. And I don't know if you can hear the same things I can hear, but right now I can hear a few soft voices out in the hallway behind me because we're having school right now. I have a fountain that's kind of above me on a shelf on my desk. I can hear it running. I also have an area heater at my feet to keep me warm, and I can hear the fan inside of that blowing. So how about you? What are 3 things that you can hear? You can pause and come back. Okay, now we've got a couple of senses left that we're going to use. Name 2 things that you can smell. And if you don't have a lot of smelly things around you right now, that might be hard. But sometimes I like to think of, and if you don't have something you can smell around you, you can think of some of your favorite smells. Like I love cinnamon candles. Those are some of my favorite. I can also smell, I had some fettuccine for lunch, so I can smell chicken fettuccine. How about you? What are 2 things that you can smell? The last thing is 1 thing that you can taste. And sometimes this is hard to do when we're somewhere public. I like to encourage students sometimes to have like a flavored chapstick, maybe, or a mint. Sometimes we can have gum. Maybe you can still taste your lunch. Maybe you're having lunch right now, but something that you can taste. And we do this activity because when we have thoughts that are in the past and maybe bothering us, or maybe they're in the future, we keep thinking this might happen, it might happen. It's good to know, let's bring our brain back to the now so that we can realize that there are things present with us and that we are safe where we are at this time. There are things that we don't need to worry about from the past or the future because we can know right now we are okay. And that just, it brings your brain back to what is most beneficial for you to be thinking about. This is just one activity. There are different things. If you want to explore with your parent or guardian about mindfulness activities, there's a lot of them. But that was just one example. I hope that is helpful. And I enjoy spending time with you. Thank you for joining me this week.